Thank you very much for coming to the part 4 of our seminar on helping each other succeed. So we are going through Gita Coach training, outline, and we were practicing a little bit yesterday and the day before yesterday. We were practicing listening to each other and also asking incisive questions, which are the questions which help to root out assumptions. And assumption is like a prejudice, like the ways of thinking that are preventing us from achieving our goals. They're, we can say, internal obstacles to achieving goals, to working on goals. So incisive questions, they eliminate these assumptions by identifying them and by replacing them with actually positive assumptions. And today we will also do an exercise with the second type of incisive questions, which are positive incisive questions. Yesterday there was a negative incisive question, and today positive incisive questions. We will do this a little bit later. And as I promised yesterday, I want to speak about a Gita coaching model which you can use. And next week we will also have a seminar which is about success partnership, where two devotees can help each other. So I will give you different ways how you can have a structured conversation with each other or with other devotees. I have read yesterday how can we help devotees succeed, 20 points, and I want to explain them a little bit in the next maybe half an hour. And of course we can discuss, you can ask questions. I think that the connection is good, internet connection is good. Share to group. What is that? Maybe to more listeners. So the first one is listen attentively, listen empathically, listen to understand. So listening is a powerful part of communication, important part of communication. And if we listen to people, we show that we value them, we show that their life is important to us, that we are interested in what they are going through, what they are thinking, what they are feeling, what they want, what they desire. And sometimes people say that listening is love in action. Listening is love in action. It's so valuable, so important. And sometimes listening is all that is needed for a person to actually recover or to understand themselves better. So we try to listen without judging. Although somebody may be wrong, and of course we don't have to agree with everything they say, but we are just trying to understand what they are thinking and what they're feeling, and how they are seeing things, how they are perceiving the world. So we listen with interest, listen with attention. We also listen with curiosity, because we want to understand what they are going through, how is Krishna present in their lives. So it can be a wonderful experience. And if we listen, like we did the first exercise, what would you like to think about and what are your thoughts? So if we listen, they can actually come to their own conclusions, to their own solutions, simply being helped by our presence and by our attention. So it's a powerful relationships tool, communication tool, life skill also, listening. Seek first to understand. Now this is interesting because people say, oh, I want someone to understand me, and it means a lot to me if someone understands me. And sometimes people are in so much pain, and of course it's helpful if we understand their pain and if we try to be there for them and empathize and sympathize, and you try to help them to get free from that pain. But in one sense, we can say that more important than me understanding you is actually you understand yourself. You understand yourself. And when one is listening to the other, then this person, by talking aloud, they can understand how they are thinking, what they want, how they are feeling. So listening helps people to understand themselves. And when you are talking in the presence of somebody else, yesterday we spoke about that. When you are talking in the presence of someone else, that means you actually are more. Your thinking is much better. Your thinking is much better. If you're talking in the presence of somebody else, because you want to, if somebody is listening to you, you want to, you want to speak about your thoughts, and you want that this is something comprehensive, something of a good quality. You don't just speak nonsense in front of it can stay there. The guitar can stay there. He speaks English. No. Okay. So we help people to understand themselves also. This is a big thing. If they can understand what they want, how they think, how they feel, how they see the world. So after maybe 4 or 5 points, I will ask you for questions. If you have questions about what I said. Okay, first diagnose, then prescribe. Now in helping each other succeed, or being a helper, like a mentor, then we don't want to jump in with solutions too early. We first want to understand what is the real problem, or yesterday, this Prabhuji mentioned, what is the problem behind the problem? Or maybe problem behind the problem behind the problem. Then we can look into solutions. So don't jump too early and say, oh, I understand you are in Maya, I can see it, and therefore you have to surrender.
It means that going to complete root cause?
Well, root causes usually has to do with Krishna and our relationship with Krishna. If you can go so deep, that's very powerful. If you can go so deep. To come to a conclusion that my real problem, the source of all my problems, is actually my relationship with Krishna, which is weak, which is not as good as it should be or as I want it to be. And everything else is just a manifestation of that root problem, my rebellion, my resistance. I don't want to serve Krishna. I want to be God, small or big. So, yeah, that's a good question. Shall we go to the deepest root of the problem? But sometimes it's not possible, so you have to be happy to go less than that, not so far. But if you can come to that, then you can cure disease very deeply. Now, to understand people, we also ask questions, ask relevant questions. And so what is a relevant question, appropriate question? Basically, with 2 questions, you can help people. What do you want? And what will you do about it? These 2 questions. Now, when they speak about what will they do about it, maybe also obstacles will appear. I want to do this, but there is this obstacle and that obstacle and this. So what do you want and what will you do about it? With these two questions you can help your friends.
First question, what you want to do, and the second, what you do, or what?
What do you want is the first question.
And the second?
Second question is, what will you do about it?
What will you do about it?
Yes.
What you want and what will you do?
Yeah. What will you do to get it? What will you do to get it?
See?
So ask relevant questions. And now, if you want to make a better use of questions, so for every problem that you have or a goal that you have, you can actually make a list of questions. So you ask them to make a list of questions that will help them to achieve that goal. So for example, if your goal is to build a Vedic temple in Köln for Krishna, I ask you, okay, what intelligent questions, what positive questions, what excellent questions can you ask to achieve this goal? So what questions would you ask yourself if this is your goal?
First of all, I will consider the how big the congregation.
You will,
And
yes.
second thing, financial status. And third thing, how many people will come regularly. Fourth thing,
It's too quick.
how many people can do arti, like how many people available for the puja department, how many people available for the services, how many people can give the lectures, how many people are going to distribution, how many people are ready to fundraise. And
What's fundraising?
fundraise.
Fundraising.
Yeah.
Fundraise.
Yes, I understand.
So I will consider these things.
So these are excellent questions. You are very professional, you are a good manager, and you can start. You are empowered. You see, he already has this. He has this intelligence to create good questions, and this is very much needed when we plan anything, when we plan any project, and when we plan our life also. When we plan our life, it's very much needed to ask excellent questions. So help them to make a list of questions and then think about the answers. Okay, so these are 5 points that I covered in 10 minutes. So do you have any questions about these 5 points? I will repeat the points. Listen empathically, seek first to understand, first diagnose, then prescribe, ask relevant questions, and ask them to make a list of questions. So these 5 points. Do you have any questions about this?
What you want to do and what will you do? Again, they should be the same.
No?
No.
First you say what you want to do. You want to build a temple for Krishna, for the deities here. And then what will you do about it?
Okay, I mean this is like an aim. I understand.
This is a goal and this is the action that you will take.
I see.
You clearly define the action that you will take.
I see. I was thinking about something else. Yeah, okay, certainly.
Okay, anything else? No? Okay, so let's continue. One way is help them to build pillars of wisdom and strength for their life So what are your pillars of strength? What are your pillars of strength? For some devotees, pillars of strength is japa. If they don't chant japa, they feel very weak whole day. And mental. So we need pillars of strength, sources of wisdom. Maybe Shastra is your source of strength and wisdom, or lectures of Srila Prabhupada or your Guru Maharaj. Or maybe you have a devotee who is supportive to you, who is helpful to you. So, this person is also a pillar in one sense. And so you can think what are the pillars and help them also to discover the pillars of strength and wisdom. And one pillar is the next point, help them to create a personal mission statement. So what is your mission? I shared with you my mission statement yesterday, I think. And I can help you to develop your personal mission statement if you want to define your mission. Then help them define their key roles and goals. What are their key roles in life? And in these roles, you set goals. So maybe you have a role as a disciple of a Guru Maharaj, and then you want to clearly define what is your role, how do you act in this role, and what you want to achieve in this role. So clarity is very important for success. Number 9, encourage them to see everything through the eyes of the scriptures. That's very important. Encourage devotees to see everything through the eyes of the scriptures. Shastra Chakshu or Shastra Jnana Chakshusha. Seeing everything through the eyes of the scriptures. So if you face a problem or if you have a goal, try to see it through the eyes of the scriptures. And how can you do that? We said that in Gita coaching, first thing we do, we always see what Prabhupada said. We always first look at what Prabhupada said about this problem. And you have database, you have Anipedia, you have index of books, you can find the topic and you can look. You can look and see what Prabhupada said. And when you have this knowledge from Srila Prabhupada, then you can have a more powerful approach to dealing with the problem or to achieving the goal. So in this way, you see through the eyes of a saintly person. Help them to see Krishna's hand in every situation. Now this is also part of seeing through the eyes of the scripture. Especially if you are in trouble, then you want to see where is Krishna here? Sometimes you feel Krishna has left you. There is no Krishna in the situation, especially if it's difficult. So, but if you talk to someone who can give you another perspective, or you can think about it, okay, where is Krishna in this difficult situation? What is Krishna trying to tell me in this difficult situation? Why I have these problems? Why I have difficulties in doing this, or in relationships, or with authorities, or why is this? And what is Krishna trying to tell me? Where is Krishna in all this? And I heard that when Prahlad Maharaj was talking to his father, and his father was provoking, he was challenging him, okay, where is your God? And I heard, I don't know if it's from some Purana or from some scripture, in the moment when Hiranyakashipu challenged him with this, that in that moment, Nrsimhadev came from the pillar and waved and told him, I am here. So he didn't just speak by theory. He didn't speak by theory that, oh, I know that my Lord is everywhere, but actually he showed himself that he is there. And he showed himself in this specific form of half lion, half man. So where is your Lord? And he said he's everywhere. And is he in this pillar? Yes. So, Lord's hand in everything. How can we see Lord's hand in everything? When we go on the street, when we go amongst materialistic people, in our family, maybe not everybody is a devotee, so why have I been born in a family that is not devotional family? And Prahlad Maharaj was born in demoniac family, but he didn't complain about it. He was a pure devotee. So sometimes devotees come to me and tell me about so many problems that they have, and I say, okay, where is Krishna in all this? Where is Krishna in all this? Okay, any question about these 5 points? What we are doing now, we are discussing how to help devotees succeed in a practical way. So we have done half of the points, and every 5 points I ask for questions if you have. So you can tell. Yes?
It's not much of a question, but when we ask where's Krishna in this, and we talk to someone, and this someone is then, I guess it's better to give an example of your own life, because then you can see where Krishna is in this. This came to my mind because if you just say, hey look, it's not that bad, Krishna, you will learn a lesson from it, but you have no actual example, it's not helping. So you might want to, as a Gita coach or just as a friend, you want to give an example of your own life's experience where Krishna was in this which is close to what this person experiences. That just came to my mind, I wanted to say.
You want a practical example?
I think everybody needs a practical example when they don't feel any hope, or they don't know which lesson to learn from it. Then you need like a practical example from whoever you talk to, maybe the Gita coach. That's it.
Practical example how Krishna is present in a certain situation. Maybe devotees want to contribute to this answer? Some of you? What was your experience in different life situations that Krishna was present? And how did you recognize? Yes?
Because if we have the mercy to understand that Krishna is testing us all the time, or giving us this or this lesson, that is his reciprocation with us, then we can understand his presence, and then we can squeeze the nectar of this lesson, the essence of this lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly, mostly it's just hard rocks or something.
Hard knocks.
And hard rocks. And everything, yes. Sorry. Yes, but that is mostly evident when we can, it's featured out more, when we can see certainly he is. When we can't see, when we can't see, then we are trying to see.
I mean, even just by asking this question, you are already actually giving yourself a chance to see Krishna in the situation. So in the case I mentioned, he appeared in his form and he waved. So for us, this doesn't happen every day. But he can be present as a lesson that we have to learn something related to the principles in the scriptures. For example, if you go and distribute books and become very proud that you have distributed, then at one point you cannot distribute anything. And then you know, oh, Krishna is now not giving me results. So that's Krishna. And if you recognize, you can smile. You can say, okay, Krishna, please help me be more humble. I know I'm not the doer. I'm not distributing books. I'm just an instrument, and you can distribute books if you want. You are in their heart, you are in my heart. And then maybe you start to distribute more books. Yeah. So one way is as a lesson. Sometimes I know a devotee who, whenever she sees number 7, especially if it's double or triple, then she knows that God is giving her a sign. And she sees a lot of number 7 on the car or somewhere on the window shop, and it's amazing. So God can give you signs in different ways. Also, God can talk through other people. Krishna is present as a message from someone. Krishna is present in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is present in your heart, and if you can hear him, then you feel his presence. Sometimes devotees say, oh, Krishna inspired me to say this, and the person will go a book. Or Krishna inspired me to say this in the class, and the audience felt that this is very useful for them. Then one devotee was serving prasadam after the whole day of fasting. And nobody saved the plate for him. So he was fasting whole day and continued fasting and serving. And he got nothing at the end. And there was no more prasadam. Everything was eaten. So where is Krishna in this? You think Krishna has left me, or Krishna is punishing me, or I am an offender, I don't deserve to eat after fasting. You can think different things, trying to remember Krishna, but what happened with this devotee is actually the plate appeared. Somebody somewhere found the plate, full plate. Somebody maybe left for somebody else, but they didn't come. And he was serving, he was fasting whole day. He was serving so enthusiastically. And Krishna was testing him. How he will react if he doesn't get a plate. And his reaction was very nice. He just accepted it. Anyway, what can I do? No prasadam. I will drink water. And I don't know, maybe he goes to the kitchen and makes some chips. Not chips, pommes frites. So they're like this. But if we ask more often this question, where is Krishna in this? We will be more Krishna conscious. You can try. 11. Induce them to learn from every situation. Now we just spoke about this lesson in every situation. So what can I learn from this situation? Induce them to learn from every situation. Help them to forgive. Help them to forgive. That's also a big issue. We don't forgive people from our past life. We don't forgive devotees if somebody hurt us. But actually it is harming us if we don't forgive. Induce them to chant and read regularly. That's a big thing to help them succeed. Induce them to chant and read regularly. They will benefit from this enormously. Induce them to hear spiritual and inspirational talks. To hear Srila Prabhupada. Sometimes hear maybe some inspirational talk that speaks about self-discipline, for example, the benefits of self-discipline. And 15, show them that their life is important to you and that you care. Now, how do you show people that their life is important to you and that you care? You tell me. How do you show people?
We can do service together, and then it's clear that alone I can't do it. It's
Doing service together.
doing service together.
Okay. How else you can help?
My
Show people.
opinion that it is very very rare to get this human body. So better to do something which is valuable. Once again, you will get better body than like not going to the low class like animals. So for that, try to do some things which is for the coming life. So in that way, I will try to convince her.
Okay. I mean, there's many ways you can show them that you care. One way is to give them time, spend time with them and listen to them. Any questions about these 5 points? Yes?
If you're maybe not so really interested in the person, but you want to be, so what to do if this compassion is not so strong there, but you want to try?
Well, then you try. And then you sit with them, spend time with them, and try to understand what they are going through, how they see the world. And they will open up more and more. If you are interested in them, then they will open up more and more. I mean, everybody wants somebody to listen to them, so listening is a big service.
But if they are like, if there are certain kind of people, their energy suckers, like they take so much energy from you just being with them. This happens.
Why?
Somehow I experienced in the past that after a talk with somebody you are completely wiped out, your energy is gone.
Oh, that's a very important for mentoring and for helping devotees, is that how not to get overwhelmed by their problems, how not to get overpowered by their energy. Usually what is draining, what is exhausting is their problems or their attitude or their energy may be very negative. But if you see that actually they are going through this to learn something, God is putting them in these situations to help them learn something. The purpose of this is that they become stronger and you can help them with that. Then you are not overwhelmed. You know, you are like an instrument. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. You are like an instrument in Krishna's hands to actually help them succeed. Hare Krishna. To help them succeed. And then you are not affected by this. You are not affected. You choose to be calm. You choose to listen carefully. You don't allow their energy to overpower you. And you help them to express themselves, to express what they feel. Okay, so next we have a next slide.
Possible
Yes,
to the point of Dharma teaching.
yes.
Because that is also the street experience. I mean, this is the book. That everybody who is coming, sometimes the people are listening to me. Just, I know they're asking many questions, they will not take anything. Just like a piece of morphine. I speak not so long, but I give some answers, trying to say about Krishna something that even they can hear, the name, or even they can take something they are, how to say, enemy-like. They don't want. It's interesting, it's good. So, because everybody is sent like Krishna to us. I'm not such a big person like you or something, but everybody is sent like Krishna. It is so clear. It is absolutely clear. That's why.
That's a nice way to see it, through the eyes of the scriptures. So we can ask why Krishna has sent me this person who is maybe so negative or overpowering, and then you can come up with some answers that Krishna wants me to become strong and resilient, or Krishna wants me to show how negativity is very harmful, damaging, and I don't want to be like this, for example, and 10%.
Just very short. Very short.
Just a second. Can you go and bring the white charger and the black? I think it's on the left side of the table is this black cable. Yes?
Because I find it very important. Once I was in one person, crazy person, I thought he was crazy. He was crying, he was shouting at everyone. He was so crazy. Whoa, whoa, whoa. He was speaking with himself, shouting and doing some very aggressive, violent things, yes? And he looked at me, as if I don't see. Then he has gone. In some days I met him again. We had a very nice, confidential conversation. I don't know how it happened. It
Amazing.
was crazy for me. He took a book. It was crazy. I could never thought that someone else, absolutely crazy person. He told me that something about his negative experience with a god or something. He wanted to speak about family, some silly things, doesn't matter. But it was not shouting. It was normal.
Very nice.
I wasn't afraid of him that he saw it. I looked at him. I wasn't afraid. And then in some days
So that's good.
it's amazing for someone else. That's what's amazing.
You never know. I mean, soul is there, and even if somebody's mind is crazy, they can also by Krishna's mercy they can be normal. I'm not sure if this is okay. So let us do the last 5 points. Give them gifts or money. So we are not only taking care of spiritual needs, but also material needs. Because if their material needs are taken care of, then they can practice spiritual life. Feed them prasadam. This is one of the 6 loving exchanges. So, to help them succeed, we feed them prasadam. Induce them to sing and dance more. Sometimes devotees forget to come to the kirtan, to dance, these simple activities that Krishna has given us, but we don't use it, we don't do it. Inspire them by your own example. So if you are inspired, you will be inspiring for other people. Inspire them by your own example. Teach them that happiness is a choice. Now teach them that happiness is a choice. That you can choose how you think, you can choose how you feel, and you can choose what you desire. You can choose how you think, you can choose how you feel, and you can choose what you desire. Maybe you have tried this sometimes, to choose how you feel, You decide, okay, I'm not going to feel bad today. Then something comes up to upset you, but then you remember, well, I have chosen today to be very positive. I don't want to be negative. I don't want to be depressive. I want to see everything. I want to see the bright side. Srila Prabhupada says, see the bright side. Don't see the dark side. So it's very difficult to understand that happiness is a choice, because our mind have a tendency to be very negative, to be unhappy. And sometimes our mind enjoys this, to be negative and to be unhappy. Because when you are unhappy, you can feel sorry for yourself and you can enjoy it. Poor me. You put yourself in the center as a victim and you enjoy it. And you forget Krishna. Yeah, I say, if you have too many things to do, how can you protect yourself from stress? And I give you expert advice from an expert who is expert in, he's an expert in very dangerous situation, how to remain calm. Do you know mines? Mines? Bombs?
Yes.
Mines?
Yes.
Bombs? You know bombs?
What is it now?
Bomb.
Often.
Explosion.
Bombs. Okay.
Bombs or bombs. I don't know how you pronounce it. So mines are bombs. You put it in the ground, and when somebody steps on it, it explodes. So his service is deactivating mines, these bombs. He comes and deactivates them. So that means every time his life is in risk. Imagine that job. He knows how to remain calm. So his advice for you, if you have too much to do, just focus on the next task. Don't think about everything you have to do. If you have to do a lot of things, make a list and focus on the next thing. Then you will be less stressed. We can say it's a mental tool to make a switch, to not put yourself in stress unnecessarily by the way you think. Because the way we think is putting us in stress more than the circumstances. You panic. Wow, so many things to do. Best I commit suicide. Then I will be peaceful. I jump in the Ganga. If Ganga is not there, I jump in the Rhine. And everything will be okay. I have too many things to do. 108 things. But the advice is, focus on the next service. Breathe. Hare Krishna. What's my next service? Immediately you get calm. So you can learn also such tools and give devotees such tools, but you can choose how you feel. And of course you always want to choose to feel good. You don't want to choose to feel bad. If you're choosing to feel bad, it's also a choice. Maybe it's unconscious choice. Okay, so now we have covered 20 points how to help devotees succeed. Do you have any questions about these 5 or all 20? Yes?
About being so negative, sometimes I was thinking if I prepare for the worst case in my mind, then I will not be so shocked if I will be prepared if it really happens. And other people say to me, this is negative thinking. Is it? Then
No, it would be negative thinking if it would make you very weak. But if you're strong and you're also realistic, you know, param padam yad vipadam natesham. We don't meditate on this verse every second of the day because we will be paranoid. There is a danger at every step. But we are aware because Shastra is warning us, be careful, there is a danger at every step. Be aware that there may be a danger at every step. So this is not negative. This is intelligent to be aware because this world is the world of danger. It's true, but at the same time, you are focusing on what you can do. You can do service. Krishna is also there and Krishna will protect you. And you want to make a positive contribution. You want to do a nice service. You focus on your service. But you have to be careful. If you have a knife and you are in the kitchen, you can cut yourself easily if you are not careful. If you think... if you think of something, I don't know, whatever. I mean, if you criticize something while cutting fruits or vegetables, you may cut your finger. Isn't it? Maybe you have this experience.
But when I make predictions to some friends, like, you must count this worst case, and then they complain always. Why are you saying this? No, it happens. No, it will happen like you think.
No, I mean, you can tell them, well, be aware that something may happen, be ready for this, but, expect the best. They say hope for the best, but expect the worst. Actually, expect the worst is not good. Hope for the best and be ready if anything bad happens. That's better. So, yeah, be ready if anything bad happens. Be ready for anything. One of my life mottos is be ready for anything and never give up. Because sometimes if something happens, you have a tendency to give up. Like, for example, when I was distributing books in the 80s, I wasn't ready to be rejected 100 times a day. No, 10 times. For me, after 10 times, I finished. So I wasn't ready for that. And then when they rejected me, 10 people rejected me, I gave up. But if I would follow today my own motto, that be ready for anything, so be ready to be rejected, and don't give up. Continue. Collect 100 rejections, but maybe 108 person will buy a set of books. They will buy a set of books. So be ready for anything and never give up. This is a very powerful approach to life. Then nothing can surprise you. Nothing can surprise you. You're ready for anything. Anything positive and anything negative. Okay? Any other last question? Who has the best question? Or who has any question? As you can see, we have so many ways. I mean, this is 20. There is more ways we can help devotees succeed. If we just think, how can I help this devotee succeed? You can ask them, how can I help you succeed? And they usually say, pray for me. How can I help you succeed? Give me some money. How can I help you succeed? Teach me this. How can I help you succeed? So now, about giving money, you can give the money. 100 euro. Then, because they see that you are giving money, they come next time and say, give me some more money. Then you say, okay, I have given you some money. Now I want to teach you how to make money. Because this is better favor. Give a man some money, you feed him for a day, teach him how to serve, you feed him for a lifetime. Prabhupada was using this non-vegetarian metaphor for how to catch a fish without getting wet. But there is another, which, I mean, what I just said is based on the original Chinese proverb. Give a man a fish, you feed him for a day, teach him how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. So if you give someone money and they want more money, you tell them, now I will teach you how to work or how to serve. So this is a better favor, because instead of saving them, you empower them to help themselves. Yes?
Is it also possible that some people have this karma, they never get money, and or they always lose it if they have it, or they cannot deal with money and so on, and it's just bad karma for them?
It's possible, but it doesn't mean that they shouldn't work. They should do some service. And also in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, in Chaitanya Lila, we see that, I think Vasudeva Datta wasn't able to deal with his money, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appointed Shivananda Sena to help him deal with the money, because he was, he wasn't able to deal with money properly and didn't have much money. So sometimes it may be karma, but at the same time, Vasudeva Datta didn't just sit and lament, but he was singing for Krishna, and he was so Krishna conscious that he wanted to accept sinful reactions of everybody. So, what more do you want? That's a big job. Okay, so now we have some time to do an exercise. So yesterday we did these questions, incisive questions, and you asked the negative question, that what is stopping you from achieving your goal? What are you assuming that is stopping? So what are you thinking? What kind of thinking is actually stopping you from achieving your goal? And today we want to have this exercise in pairs, where you ask, you use your assumption. So, for example, so your assumption is that if I give class, nobody will listen to me. Then we use this negative assumption and turn it into a positive question. If you knew that if you give class, everybody will listen to you, how would you prepare? You understand? Use the negative assumption and turn it into a positive question by asking, if you knew that. So you tell me, I cannot build a temple in Keln because it requires too much money, too many people. But if you knew that you can get enough money and that you can't inspire enough people, how would you prepare? So now you're thinking differently. You can make a nice plan, which actually can become realized. But with your previous thinking, you were blocked. You couldn't even move. You said, it's impossible. Therefore, I sit and wait that somebody else does it. Some millionaire or something. But no, Krishna wants you, who have nothing, to do impossible. But he can use you and as the instrument in his hands. And you start to believe that this is possible. So if you knew that you can get money, and now the next question is, how can I get it? Okay, we can discuss this, but now your thinking is already moving you forward. It's not keeping you blocked. You understand? It's not keeping you like this, but you are ready for action. So I want you to work in pairs, and from yesterday, if you had these assumptions, if you can remember from yesterday the assumptions, what is stopping you from achieving the goal? And then you say, what's stopping me from achieving my goal from yesterday is this and this and that. And then the coach says, if you knew that the opposite is true, that it is possible, that you can do it, how would you prepare? And then you answer that question, okay? So we have 2, 4, 5 ladies and 4. You want to participate? No? Yes?
No, we are just few minutes. We are going.
We are going back home. Okay, so we have 3 and 4. So you can work 2, yeah? 2. And we are 4 here. Oh no, you also go back to Kolokadam? Okay. Okay, so we have 2, we can work 2. So 2 of you can work? You can explain to him? Or
Yes.
okay, 2 of you work and you and I can work. I will come somewhere there.